Estuaries. Estuaries are partially enclosed bodies of water where incoming seawater is mixed with fresh water coming from the land. Examples of estuaries include bays, sounds, salt marshes, mangrove forests, mudflats, swamps, inlets, and sloughs. Because of the difference in density between fresh and salt water will move into the estuary along the bottom, while fresh water will flow downstream to the ocean along the surface. This results in a mixed condition with layers. Life in an estuary is an interesting and diverse mix of land, sea creatures, and some animals. Plants also thrive because of the nutrient-rich soil and the available water. In almost all estuaries, the salinity of the water changes constantly over the tidal cycle. To survive in these conditions, plants and animals living in the estuaries must be able to respond quickly to drastic changes in salinity. Plants and animals that can tolerate only slight changes in salinity are called stenohaline. These organisms usually live in either freshwater or saltwater environments. Those that can tolerate a wide range of salinities are called euryhaline. There are far fewer euryhaline than stenohaline organisms because it requires a lot of energy to adapt to constantly changing salinities. Organisms that can do this are rare and special. Some organisms evolve to have special physical structures to cope with changing salinities. The smooth cord grass found in the salt marshes, for example, has special filters on its roots to remove salts from the water it absorbs. This plant also expels excess salt through its leaves. Estuaries host varied sorts of species. Some species complete their whole life cycle within these transitionary waters and are often referred to as truly estuarine species. There are mostly hardy, stress-tolerant species able to handle salinity shifts and high suspended solid levels. Not many species can perform well under such conditions. Thus, the estuarine ecosystems are typically characterized by a relatively low diversity in species compared to freshwater or full salinity conditions. Freshwater species are becoming less abundant with increasing salinity and are gradually replaced by marine organisms moving down the estuary, with some truly estuarine species found at intermediate salinities. This pattern is reflected by the overall species richness, where the least diverse fauna is found at salinity levels of between 5 and 18 psu. Apart from the permanent dwellers, estuaries play host to a number of visitors. Some of them have to travel through estuaries on their migratory route, being either anadromous, spawn in fresh water and feeds and grow at sea, or catadromous, spawns at sea and feeds and grow in fresh water. The absence of many of the marine predators and rich particular food supply make estuaries ideal spawning and nursery grounds for many species that normally live under full salinity conditions. Actually, estuaries have frequently been called the nurseries of the sea for their important role in providing sheltered habitat and food for juvenile fish such as salmon, sea-run cutthroat trout, and herring. In these protective environments, young fish can quickly grow and gradually become accustomed to salt water. Even though estuarine ecosystems are usually species poor, they maintain a high productive throughput of invertebrate fauna. This productivity provides rich feeding opportunities for a range of higher consumers. Some marine predators are well equipped to cope with reduced salinity and frequently penetrate the estuaries in search of food. In turn, retreating tides make the estuarine beds available to terrestrial predators, of which birds take the greatest share. Estuarine sand and mudflats that are periodically exposed to air support a variety of bird fauna in high densities. This value of estuaries has been long recognized, and many estuarine sand and mudflats have been designed as Special Protection Areas (SPA) under the EU Bird Directive. Apart from being the habitat for aquatic creatures and animals, estuaries have also attracted and supported a large amount of human populations. About 40% of the world's population lives within 60 miles of the coast, and 22 of the 32 largest cities are located on estuaries. Estuaries have important commercial value, and their resources provide economic benefits for tourism, fisheries, and recreational activities. The protected coastal waters of estuaries also support important public infrastructure, serving as harbors and ports, vital for shipping and transportation.